Hello, I'm Andrew Smith from the Open University. Part of the joys of doing these Periscope sessions is that I need to join a couple minutes beforehand, A, to set up the technology, B, to wait and let people join, and C, cunningly to do a little bit of retweeting of the opportunity on my different social media platforms, because obviously this is a sort of big part of the work we do. So bear with me, you can see a screen where there is Packet Tracer sort of running in the background. It's pulsating slightly because it's trying to focus on a white screen at the moment. I'm now retweeting from another platform, so I think I've just retweeted there. I'm now going to retweet on our cybersecurity platform as well at the Open University, and why not even use my Linux community as well. So we've got, in my reckoning, about a minute to go. I will do a brief introduction to myself, and obviously this recording will be available for 24 hours afterwards, and I'm sure there are ways of stealing recordings from Periscope as well. The squeaking in the background is my very comfortable yet squeaky chair, so forgive the odd strange squeak sounds as it sort of appears as I move around from computer to computer. You can see that there is 3 people that have sort of joined in the immediate early session, and we've got just another minute or so to go. I should be able to double tap and I should be able to wave at people now and say, hello, I'm Andrew Smith. I'm the academic at the Open University in the United Kingdom that is busy setting up these sessions. Obviously, you can see my humble, untidy office with lots of geeky books and a ladder and even a folding bed in the background. But that's sort of typical office. I've even got stuff scattered on the floor, which you can't see at the moment. But you're not more interested in the technology in the foreground. For those of you that are a little techie, I'm actually using a springy clip-on tripod. Found this actually works the best for Periscope sessions using technology because I can poise that. Another geeky point for periscopers is that portrait view seems to work best. Even though you can do it in landscape view, for playback later on, Periscope, when I did the experiment a couple of months ago, didn't seem to play so nicely. So, hi, once again, hello, I'm Andrew Smith from the UK Open University. I'm the academic in charge of our Cisco networking modules, and I'm doing this partly in collaboration with Cisco NetAcad, but more as a venture from our side of the Cisco Networking Academy program, just to encourage a little bit of micro teaching and micro learning within the medium of social media streaming. Please do retweet, please do share, please do comment, please do hit the heart button and like what we're doing. In front of me, I've got Packet Tracer. It's freely available to anybody who is part of the Cisco Networking Academy program. Can you get it elsewhere? I hear there are illegal copies, but my advice is always make sure you get it from the Cisco Networking Academy program, because a lot of the legal copies will have Trojan malware inserted in them to infect your computer. I'm running it off of a Windows 7 computer. There is a Linux version as well. I do know that it works on Windows 10, and also in the corner, though you cannot see it, I've actually got a MacBook Air where I ported it across using a wine bottler. So it is available on all major platforms, though principally Cisco release it for Linux and Windows because they are the 2 most popular afforded platforms on the planet. Now, Packet Tracer, when you open it, will always give you a blank canvas. You can run the Packet Tracer assessments from the Cisco Networking Academy curriculum if you're looking at the routing and switching version 5.0203 or 5.1. The great thing is about Packet Tracer, though, is you could run the activities that have been pre-designed for you, or you can actually build your own complex, interesting networks as well. well. And the great thing about building your own complex networks is you've actually got full access to a simulated iOS Internet Working Operating System. So down in the bottom of the screen you can see that there are many devices available, and they're all worth exploring in your own time. What I'm going to do today is just drag across a very basic router. I'm actually going to drag across a 2901. Now I'm just going to drop in £1,000 worth of equipment and just open it straight up in front of you. You can actually see it's got some empty ports. I'm just going to switch it off. I'm going to put a HWIC card straight in there, so we can actually put a WIC2T, which is a standard serial interface, and then switch it back on again. So another 200 quid's worth of equipment just gone in there, and it's actually going through its own reboot process at the moment. So you can switch it off, switch it on, you can add equipment, you can actually run it just like a real router. So if we actually zoom in, which we can do, this is the bit where I angled a camera now, you can actually see we've got a full config. So I can actually apologise for the squeaking of my chair. If I just do the question mark, you can see the commands that are available. No, it is not the full iOS, it's not the full Internet Working Operating System, but it's all the commands you need for the CCNA, for IT Essentials A+, and also for the CCNA Security. And there are some extra commands that are quite useful when you're sort of bridging across the CCNP level skills. Does it cover the full CCNP? No. Does it cover enough to make it useful? Yes, it does actually. So I'm just going to type in enable tab and just do question mark again. You can start seeing that we've got quite an interesting command set. I can even do show IP interface brief now, and we can see the serial interface I added with the 2 serial ports. We've got 2 gigabit interfaces on here. We could actually configure this router and configure a very basic network. I could now throw in a basic PC, I could throw in a basic switch. I think we'll do a 2960 power over Ethernet switch. We'll even do cable, and you can use the cabling wizard where it will auto detect the types of cables, or you can be intelligent and either fit a straight cable per port, or a crossover cable, or a serial cable, or a console cable, or a fiber cable, or other cables that are provided as part of this system as well. So I put a router, a switch, and a PC in, and straight away you'll notice that that interface is red because it's not up. Sorry, I just realized it wasn't focused. I'll put it right on there. So I've added 3 devices, and what I can do now is go into the router, and I can do a very basic config where I can just do enable again, int, just learn to type. I've got to do configure terminal. Sorry, I'm just looking at 2 screens at the minute. Int gi 0/0, and we'll just do a basic IP address of 1.0.0.1255000. We'll do no shut, and that should bring that interface up. So if we actually now look at the little, you can see the green light's gone up there and the orange light, which means that the switch is detecting it and going through spanning tree at the moment. So I can actually now go to the PC, and I can actually go into the desktop mode over here, go to IP configuration, and I can actually set up the IP address. So I'm going to do 1.0.0.2, same subnet mask. It will do it unsubnetted by default, but I'm going to do a default gateway of 1.0.0.1 because that's what I put on the router. Pretty standard basic config. Just kill that, and I've now got a proper command prompt. Okay, again it's simulated, but I can actually now, I can look at the commands available. I can do an IP config, almost like Windows. I can do a ping 10.0.0.1, and you can see it's pinging away quite happily because I've now added that ID to the router. So I've actually given it a default gateway to ping the network. And it's, yeah, the beauty of this system is I can actually now pop down here, add another PC, just click, and just trust me as I drag it across. I can easily throw in another cable. You can just about see that in the bottom, and I can just put in a straight cable from here, and I'm going to cable up to this switch up here. Okay, whilst it's learning, I can now go and configure the desktop. I can configure the IP configuration 100. If I've done 2, then 3 is available. Let's see if I can try 2. See what happens. Let's see if we get a... What do you think should happen here? So now I should try and ping 1001. Let's have a look. It's up and it's replying. Okay, so ping 1002. And we're getting a reply. Because we're on a different segment, that works fine. We can change the IP address to .3 now, and I'm actually going to go to this PC here, and I am actually going to get this PC to ping 1.0.0.3. So that's ping 1003. And then I'm going to go straight to the other PC and just do an ARP-A. And you can see immediately it's learnt the MAC address of 1002, which pinged it. So we've got 0060 750 C091. Okay, now if I actually go to this PC and actually look at its MAC address by doing IP config, and learn to type. Okay, it's not in IP config. It should be in config mode, interface, fast Ethernet 0. There it is. There's the MAC address. Sorry, it took me a second to look for it. There you go, 60 750 C091. So I just focus on that part of the screen. So we've actually got now a fully running switched network where there's Ethernet packets running around the system, and it's actually behaving just like a real network. And we can actually build a fully configured network using Packet Tracer quite comfortably. The joy of Packet Tracer is you can keep adding devices. Obviously these Periscope sessions are going to be 10 minutes in length, and we're already near the end of our 10 minutes. What I commend anybody to do using Packet Tracer is try out all of the devices. Have a good look at the devices that are available. And one of the most interesting devices is the generic server. And if you look inside there at the services, you'll discover that it's able to emulate a web server, DHCP, obviously for v4 and v6, trivial file transfer. It's got DNS, syslog, authentication, network time protocol, email, and obviously typical file transfer, to the point where you can actually edit a base web page and on the PCs browse to it. Obviously it's a crude HTML. This is not for web designers to teach web designing, but it's for networkers to teach networking and emulate a web server, especially if you're on a school or college network where security is an issue, or if you're a student that doesn't have the opportunity to install all these kind of things at home. Packet Tracer will do this for you. So, on that happy note, does it run a WordPress site? No, not at all. And I can see the two smiles thinking, yeah, okay, that's overkill. No, it's there to emulate the network traffic performance, and this is a networking tool to teach network technologies. But it will... yeah, at least allow you to see the traffic move around and do the basic web browsing and map a DNS entry to an IP address on a web server and issuing addresses across DHCP behind a natted firewall, and Packet Tracer will do all of that. Okay, thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. I'm Andrew Smith from the Open University, and it's been a pleasure spending the last 12-15 minutes with you. I've got to remember how to stop this. Goodbye.